Bristol Fusion Net, calling the Bristol Fusion Net. This is N4NT. My name is Adam, and I will be the net control station for this session. The Bristol Fusion Net meets each Tuesday evening at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or at the conclusion of our FM net, should the FM net run past 9:30. On the 146.67 repeater locally, and Wires X room 61243 Bristol-ARC. This net is affiliated with the Bristol Amateur Radio Club of Bristol, Tennessee and Virginia. All amateurs are welcome to check into the net. Are there any announcements or bulletins for the net? Please call. Okay, I'll make one quick announcement here. I did lose the Facebook Live feed, but I got it back. But this net we started last week. We had a good turnout and everything, so I'm going to try to continue this net on a weekly basis. What I'd like to do at our next club meeting is just make sure we have the backing and okay of the club to do it, but in the meantime we'll go ahead and continue it, and I'll bring that up at the next club meeting. I don't see it being an issue, but anyone out there that would like to offer to be a net control from time to time, you're welcome to do so, and I can publish the what I call it, the preamble, the net procedure or whatever, on our Facebook group page for anyone that would like to do so. Okay, at this time, are there any mobile or portable stations with or without traffic who would like to check in?
N4NT, please check in KL1ZA in the mobile stationary.
Okay, net recognizes KL1ZA. That's Jim here in Bristol, Tennessee. Mobile station. Any other, and I guess I should say short time stations as well, given the format of this net. So mobile, portable, or any short time stations that would like to check in, please call.
Net control check in Kilo Mach 4 Juliet November Romeo, portable in Columbus, Ohio.
VE3 RQB, short time.
Okay, we've got KM4JNR, Chad. Drawing a blank. I believe you were portable in Ohio. Got you in there, and we'll welcome our very first, I guess you could call it, well, let's say non-U.S. station to our Fusion Net here, Rob in Ontario, Victor Echo 3 Romeo Quebec Bravo on our short time list. Appreciate you checking in. We'll come back to you in just a minute. Any other mobile, portable, or short time stations, please call. All right, we'll go back up to these folks for some comments. We'll start with Jim here in Bristol, Tennessee, KL1ZA. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening again, Adam, KL1ZA. For those listening out of the area, I did check into the 2-meter net as well earlier at 9 p.m. local time here. And Adam, just so you know, if you ever need somebody to fill in for backup net controller on this net, I'd be glad to do it.
Okay, Jim, I appreciate that. You always did a good job on the other net, and of course we're glad to have you as possibly a backup from time to time on that one as well. Did you have any other comments before we move on?
Negative, I don't, but I'm going to hang around after the net just in case anybody wants to have a QSO afterwards on this net.
Okay, good deal. I appreciate you checking in, Jim. Up next, we've got Chad, and he's a local, but he's coming to us from out of town in Ohio tonight. Good evening, Chad.
N4NT, KM4JNR. Yeah, I'm in Columbus, Ohio, downtown Columbus. Appreciate the repeater owner here, the repeater I'm on. It's working well. Y'all sounding good back home in Bristol. That's all I got for now. Have a good evening. KM4JNR. KM4JNR.
Okay, Chad. Thanks for checking in and connecting the repeater up there, and any other locals up there that's monitoring, we'll be glad to have you check in. And up next, we got Rob in Ontario, Victor Echo 3 Romeo Quebec Bravo. Welcome to the net, Rob.
Good evening, Evan, and all my American neighbors. Hope everyone's doing well. Haven't really got a whole lot to say tonight. I pulled the motor apart, so my back's a bit sore. Other than that, like I say, not a whole lot going on. I just wanted to check in. I am going to listen for a little bit, but I won't be around for possibly a second round. But glad to hear you guys all got a new net run there. That's good stuff. Have a free or convenient.
Okay, Rob, appreciate you checking in, and thanks for bringing another country to the net there. I started to say DX, but I don't really consider it DX with the voice over internet stuff. But it's definitely good to have multiple states and as many countries as we can possibly have represented on the net, and be able to make some new friends that way. So glad to have you. It was good talking to you earlier today. All right, that brings us to the bottom of our short time list. We'll now open it up to take check-ins from any stations. Any stations, please call.
At control, please check in November 4, Kilo Zulu Sugar, Gary, and Piney Flats, Tennessee. N4NT in the net check-in, Alpha Bravo 8, Radio Lima, AB8RL, Tom, in Scott Depot, West Virginia. K1KC, Chris in Atlanta. Net control, please check in Kilo 4, Hotel Papa Yankee, K4 HBY, Robert Kingsport, in West Virginia.
Okay, let's go back and acknowledge a few of these real quick. I had a double at the end, but I think I got both people there. But if I do miss you, just come back in there. N4KZS Gary here in he's in Piney Flats, Tennessee, but local to us. AB8RL in Tom and Scott Depot, West Virginia. K1KC Chris in Georgia. K4HPY Robert in Kingsport, Tennessee, and I caught the call sign at the end, K8RRT, comes up as Tim in West Virginia. Any other stations, or did I miss anybody?
Whiskey 4, Victor, Sierra Papa Isle in Whitfield, Virginia.
All right, we recognize W4VSP, my old buddy Al there in Whitfield. Hadn't talked to you in a long time. I've changed call signs a few times since I talked to you. So, but anyway, good to have you. We'll be back to you. So let's go back up for some comments here. N4KZS. Good evening, Gary.
Good evening again. Everyone's sounding good here on Fusion Net tonight. Just barreling into the shack here. Good to hear everyone checking in locally, and also the ones from other states and countries. Good to hear everyone checking in. And appreciate you calling this, Ned, and sure is enjoyable to operate on digital audio. Really sounds great here in my shack. With that, we're going to say 73s to all. God bless all. And we'll be turning it back over to net control in 4 NT and 4 KZS.
Okay, Gary, appreciate you checking in. Good to have you there tonight. And just a real quick note here, of course, a reminder that we do go through the Wires X system. So when you, not that we've had an issue yet, but just as a reminder, I have to remind myself when you go to transmit, just key up and hold it for a second or so and give everything time to kick in. Also, those that might have been trying to monitor on Facebook, for some reason I can't keep the Facebook live feed going, and it may be because of running Wires X and Facebook and everything all at the same time. But we'll have a delayed recording uploaded after the net on YouTube on the Bristol Amateur Radio Club YouTube channel. If anybody would like to check that out later on, once I get the video put together, we'll upload it. All right, up next, that brings me to Tom in West Virginia, AB8RL. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening. I'm AB8RL in West Virginia. Glad to check in again tonight for the second week in a row. Wish everybody a great week. We had a beautiful sunny day here in the Charleston area. It was about in the 70s, sunny. Just before, and tomorrow's supposed to be in the 50s and rain and pretty nasty and cooling down. So, but we do need the rain. With that, we'll say 73. Sounds like you got more participation tonight than last week, and you'll have a growing net on the band here. 73s to everyone. N4NT in the net control, AB8RL.
Okay, Tom, thanks for checking in, and yeah, we got a few nodes connected, and everything's looking good. So appreciate you joining us there. Up next, we have K1KC, the man I consider one of my mentors in Fusion, has helped answer a few questions for me along the way. Good evening, Chris.
Hello, Adam. Everybody's looking at. Yeah, I'm just consuming some cherry cheesecake here like I really need it. But it sure does taste good going down, so I'll stick with it for a while. I guess after the net is over, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do for the yard dogs tomorrow, so I got to put my thinking cap on. It's always tough when I have to for it. Okay, that's about it. Good to hear you. K1KC.
Okay, Chris, good to hear you. Appreciate you checking in. And since you mentioned it, I'll just take the opportunity to remind everybody the Yard Dogs Net tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. I don't have the room number handy, but I'll get that before we're done here. But if you just look up the Yard Dogs room, a little trick I learned, you can type that in on Google and it'll tell you the room number. I think it's, well, I won't try to guess it wrong. But anyway, anybody that would like to check into that net here locally in Bristol, I do connect the 146.67 to that net on the digital side, so you can catch it that way if you don't have your own node or anything, just Fusion Radio. All right, up next we have K4HPY Robert in Kingsport, Tennessee. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening, Adam. Everybody on the net. Everybody sounds good and crisp. Thank you for putting on the net tonight. Not really much to say. Just you're nursing some back issues, and hopefully they'll get better soon and get back at them. That's all I've got for the net. thank everybody for checking in. K4HBY.
Okay, Robert, appreciate you checking in with us. Up next, we have Kilo 8 Romeo Tango, Tim in West Virginia. Good evening, Tim.
N4T and everyone on the net. Good evening to everyone, and it's good to be able to check in. And Tom ABRL put out the word that we were going to be connecting again this week to your all's net here on Wires X. To it, and I was working last week and I missed it, so it's a joy to be able to get in and put my call out and listen to on Wires X. And it sounds like you got ends, and it's exciting with all this great audio. So my QTH is Culloden, West Virginia, and the name is Tim. Good evening to everyone on the net. And KRT.
Okay, Tim. Yeah, appreciate you checking in. And yeah, I almost said Putnam. I was looking at the county. It pops up on NetLogger. But yeah, I see the city over there. I rearranged my NetLogger where it took out some information we don't use for this net. But and that, as a reminder too, we do run a NetLogger session for this net if anyone wants to follow along that way. I also put in the AIM window our Facebook page that we try to broadcast live with, and our YouTube page that we upload our recordings to after the fact. And that the Wires X room number for Yard Dogs is 40383, by the way. All right, up next we've got Al in Whitfield, W4VSP. Good evening, Al. Okay, I don't see Al's node connected anymore. It might have dropped out on him, so if we see it pop back up, we'll come back to him. Let's go ahead. We'll take some more check-ins, and we'll give him another try if we see that node pop back up. Any other stations that would like to check into the net, please call now.
Net control, please check in. Kilo Delta 8 Alpha, Tony in Sissonville, West Virginia.
All right, Tony, KD8A got you on the list. Any other station like to check in, please call now.
Net control, please check in. Kilo 4 Bravo India Zulu, Ted in Johnson City, Tennessee. Just in and out.
Good evening, Adam, and the next KX4 UK, Dave in Bluff City, and I'll be in and out. Have a good evening.
Okay, Ted, K4BIZ got you on the list. Checked in and out. Appreciate you joining us tonight. And Dave, KX4 UK, got you checked in and out also. Any other stations like to check in? Both of those stations were in Tennessee, by the way. Any other stations like to check in, please call now. Okay, we'll go back up to the list here. Let me give Al another call because I see another node connected. He might have came in on, but W4VSP, did you make it back in there?
Yeah, N4NT. That's W4VSP. Good evening, Adam, and everybody else on the net. Good to hear from you. We haven't talked a while already. And I'm in Whitfield, Virginia.
Okay, I appreciate you checking in there. I couldn't tell if you might have dropped out or what happened there, but anyway, did you have anything else there before we go to the next check-in?
No, that's all I got. You heard me okay then?
Yeah, I got you good there now. Yeah, I'm not sure what may have happened there for the dropout or what, but yeah, we appreciate you checking in. It's good to hear from you, and I hope you can join us there each week. Like I said, we plan on trying to keep the net going every week, and most of the time we should make it by 9:30. Our FM net rarely runs over that time, but it might occasionally. So we'll be in there as soon as it ends if that happens. All right, up next we've got Tony in West Virginia. I know you gave me a different town name. It comes up Charleston, but if you'll give me the correct name, I'll update it on my profile, so I'll have it from now on. Good evening, Tony.
Good evening, Adam and the net. Honestly, the mailing address is Charleston, so that's fine. We're a little bit north of Charleston here in the town of Smithville. But yeah, it's one of those deals. I'll usually claim Charleston if I'm talking to somebody from out of the area, and if I'm talking to somebody from in the area, I claim Smithville. If it's like I said, Charleston mailing address anyway, so it's all good. I don't really have too much to add. I just wanted to stop in and say hello to everybody, and I guess it kind of fall one category. I believe I'd watched some videos that you had up on YouTube on NetLogger, and forgot to mention. So kind of a small world thing there. Anyhow, I hope everybody had a great first part of their week, and I hope that trend continues for the rest of the week. This is Control.
Okay, Tony, appreciate you checking in tonight with us. And yeah, it seems like I remember maybe you might even commented on one of those videos. I appreciate that. I'm not by any means an expert, but I tried to make some simplified videos of the functions that we use here for like our 2-meter net, and I guess now this net it would apply as well. Just to get down to the meat and potatoes, as I like to call it, and I had a few people check those out and said they liked them and helped them out. So I appreciate the feedback there. We try to keep a fair amount of content and stuff on our YouTube page, and try to add new stuff from time to time, and learning videos, and then just even some videos of, hey, check this net out, you might like it. All right, that brings us to the bottom of the list after a couple in and out check-ins there. So we'll now open the floor once again. Any other stations that would like to check in, please call now.
Net Control, please check in. KD4 CCO, Dallas, Bristol.
All right, and that recognizes KD4 CCO, Dallas and Bristol, Virginia. Of course, you know, we have two Bristols here that share a name, but they're two different entities. He's in Virginia, and I'm in Bristol, Tennessee. So we got the other side of the line accounted for tonight. Any other stations like to check in with or without traffic, please call. Okay, Dallas. Well, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you. How you doing tonight?
Doing very well.
I've been trying to check into the net for the last 10 minutes, and somebody always beats me to the trigger, so, but that's okay, no problem. I thought I would try to check in on lives tonight instead of the RF mode, and it's a little easier on RF mode, I believe. That way on RF, you can jump ahead of some of the other guys if you need to. So anyway, I guess that's about it over here on the Virginia side. We'll say 73, turn it back to control. This be before CCO.
All right, Dallas, appreciate you checking in there. And yeah, that FT2 is sounding good tonight. I tell you, that's a good problem to have, though, when you got enough traffic on your net that sometimes everybody can't get in at first, you know. But we'll do everything we can to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to check in. And if we're ever to the point where we have so many check-ins that we have to do it, we'll break it down into call areas or something. We'll figure something out and make sure everybody gets included. All right, that brings us to the bottom once again. Are there any other stations with or without traffic that would like to check in? Please call now.
Victor Alpha 3, Mike, Charlie, Tango, Mobile.
All right, and that recognizes Victor Alpha 3, Mike Charlie Tango, Michael in Ontario. Said you're mobile there, so we'll just go ahead and go back to you for comments. Good evening, Michael. Thank you for checking in.
Hello, good evening. Name here is Mike. That's Mike India Kilo Echo. Located in an area called Newmarket, currently just north of Toronto. And as it happens, someone from our local fusion repeater must have put it onto through the net. A new group with a fusion repeater, so all in deep learning mode about how the thing works, but certainly enjoying the mode. And good to hear folks on from the Bristol ARC room. And as I'm a Brit, I was thinking Bristol is very late for people in Bristol in the UK to be on, but I guess it's a different Bristol from emergency unit control from Victor Charlie Tango Mobile.
Okay, Mike, thank you for checking in. And yeah, I do. I run the computer that has the room, and I will make a confession. I named it Bristol ARC on purpose for that reason. That way, if people are searching for Bristol anywhere, they might stumble across us and log in with us, and we might make some new friends, even though they might have been looking for something else. Do that on purpose. But this is the Bristol Amateur Radio Club of Virginia and Tennessee. We are on the border of the two states, and we actually have two separate cities with the same name that join each other and share a lot of things. They have two separate governments, but the name and a few other things are shared. So that's who we represent, and we certainly welcome you to check in anytime with us. We're here every Tuesday night at 9:30, or we may be a little later than 9:30 if our FM net runs over. But we're glad to have you, and appreciate you checking in with us. All right, that brings us to the bottom of our check-in list once again. Are there any other stations with or without traffic that would like to check in?
KN4 FXW.
All right, we've got KN4 FXW, showing that to be Richard in Mooresville, North Carolina. Richard, we're probably getting close to the end, so we're just kind of doing one at a time. We'll go ahead and acknowledge you for some comments if you have any. Good evening.
Thanks for letting me back in. Hope to visit Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia soon. and appreciate the check-in. I'm here on a fairly new Yaesu 7250D, and this is my first contact on the Fusion, so glad to know it works. Thanks for being here, and thanks for letting me check in. 7-3 to all.
Okay, Richard. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, that's pretty neat. You sound like you're just getting into Fusion there and making your first contact. So we're glad to be here. The net that we're on right now, we're going to have it every Tuesday night at 9:30 or after our FM net if it runs a little long. And this room stays connected to the local repeater here in Bristol. Well, the repeater's sitting in Bristol, Tennessee, but it serves Bristol, Tennessee, and Bristol, Virginia. So anytime you'd like to give us a shout, you're more than welcome to. I try to monitor the repeater quite a bit. They even let me keep a radio in my work vehicle, so if I'm not busy, I can try to come back to people. All right, that's bottom of the list once again. Any other stations with or without traffic like to check in, please call. Okay, before we close the net, we'll make one last call for check-ins, or does anyone that's already checked in have anything else for the net before we close? Okay, I'll just make a couple quick reminders for the local folks. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. on the 443 000 repeater, they'll have their analog net on the analog side of their repeater, and also the Yard Dogs net, Fusion net, room 40383, and we will, barring technical disasters, connect this repeater to that net tomorrow night. So feel free to join those folks. That's a technical net discussing topics about Wires X and System Fusion, and occasionally they'll discuss some kind of technical amateur radio topic outside of that once in a while. All right, tonight we had 16 check-ins counting net control. At one time I saw as many as 7 nodes connected to our Wires X room. We're representing 6 different states tonight and 2 different countries counting the United States. We had some check-ins from Ontario, Canada tonight, so that's a first for this net. All right, this is N4NT closing the Bristol Fusion Net at 10:03 p.m. Eastern Time and returning the W4UD repeater and all connected systems back to normal amateur use. 7-3 and good night. And that would be 2:03 UTC time.